Hey, how's it going? And today I'm happy to show you this tutorial on how to get all the tagged actors in your game or level. And this would be good if you had like a collectible game or a quest where someone was out to collect so many collectibles and you wanted to check the level to find how many were left. And that would be by tagging those objects. So tagging is a really super powerful feature, but honestly, in Unreal Engine, I found it to be a little glitchy, and so I'm not sure what's going on with it, but I did get this method to work, so this is just one way of getting it to work. But if you can figure it out, it's really a super cool feature, tagging. The first thing that I want to do is create a blueprint that we can go through the scene, and we're going to tag these items. Some will be tagged and some won't. And I'm doing that to show you that this works. The first thing we want to do is we want to create tags. Now there is a way to add tags over here, but these are component tags and I didn't find this method to work. So I had to tag them within the blueprint itself. Let me right click here and we're going to go to miscellaneous and we'll go to data table. And you'll see there's a data table just for gameplay tags. I'll just leave it called new data table and just dock it real quick. This is super easy to do, and there's a way to set these up in hierarchies, but I'm not interested in doing that today. I just want to create a tag, a simple tag. So I'm just going to actually call it tagged, okay? And that's all we're going to do. And there's ways to set these up in hierarchies and all different kinds of things. But we just want a simple tag. Now I want to create a actor or a collectible, and I want to put it into the scene. So I'm going to come up to blueprint class here. I'm going to go to actor. I'm going to go BP underscore cube. And let's just double click into here. And we'll just make this a static mesh. So I'll get a static mesh and I'll just make this a cube, like I said, just a basic cube. And this could be any item that you want. Now, what I want to do is tag it, and I'm going to tag it by bringing a variable, game tag variable in. So I'm just going to come over here to variables and I'm just going to call this game tag here. And I'm literally just going to search for game tag. It's gameplay tag, actually, gameplay tag right here. And it's an object reference and it needs to be instance editable. So we'll compile and save. And now if you'll come over here and click here, you'll see under input settings, one thing we need to do, sorry about that, we need to come in here to project settings and enable that table. So you'll see there's a gameplay tags right there, and we come here and there's just our table right here, right there. So there we go. And just now if we come in here and click, you'll see there's our tagged right there. And that's all we have to do to tag the object. And because it's instance editable, we can untag some if we want. So let's say I was going to create an Easter egg game or something, an Easter cube game, and I would just drag these in. Now these are already tagged, so if I go Alt, I could just duplicate them like this. Let's say I'm going to put 5 or 6 of them into the scene, right? And now let's say I want to put some in the scene, but I don't want them to be tagged. I would just drag these in here like decoys or something, and I would just unclick where it's tagged and click and drag. So now I have 3 Alt. So now I have 6 that are tagged and 3 that are not tagged. Right click here and we're going to go to blueprint class and we're going to go to actor. We're going to call this BP tag binder, just like that. And this is where all of our logic and everything is. So I'm just doing this very simple, as simple as I can do this. So we're going to drive this off a keyboard press because this is just for testing purposes. So I'm just going to search for a keyboard press and we'll just make it a 1. So 1. I know that the way this is set up, the workflow of it, so I only want this to happen once, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm going to search for do once and we're going to reset it, but you'll see why in a minute. So we're going to press once and this is just going to send 1 pulse through. And what we want to search for now is get actors of class. And what's interesting is you'll see there's get actors of class with tag, but I, for the life of me, could not get this to work. So I just moved to get actors of class. And this is a fast method to search because we're restricting the search to a specific class. So this goes really fast. And then what we want to do is just loop through these items, do our search essentially is what we're doing. So this is actually going to go get them all collect them all. And now we're going to search through them all with a for each loop. So off of here, we're just going to search for each loop right here. And it already comes in wired in. And now what it's getting is a object reference to this BP cube. It's getting an object reference. So therefore, I can get anything inside of it. So now if I pull off of here, I can actually go get tag right here, get the game tag right there. And then off of here, I can just search for equals here. And I can say is searching for that tag. If it equals tagged, then I want to control the flow of that. So the next thing I want to do, if I find the tag, I'm going to go B, and this essentially creates an if-else statement. Let me go ahead and plug this in right here. And I want to print out two strings just for my own information. So I'm going to right click and print a string here, and then I'll select it and I'm going to duplicate it. I'll select it and hit Control D to duplicate it. And when I'm going to say, I'm just going to say tag found. And here I'm just going to type in fail. If I find it, this is going to happen. And if I don't find it, this is going to happen. So this should happen 6 times, and this is going to happen 3 times. Now what I want to do is I essentially want to create an array of my tagged actors. Come over here to variables, and I'll just call it my tagged array. And we're going to search for that class, the BP cube class, because that's what it's going to be an array of right here. And it doesn't need to be instance editable. And then once I have this, it needs to be an array. So let's set it to an array. And it's essentially it's an empty array. And I'm just going to drag it over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to insert all of the elements that it finds. So off of here, we're going to drag and go insert. So we're creating a new array here. And we're going to build the array with those elements that it finds. So that's way over here. So let me, it's kind of a stretch here. So I'm going to just drag this all the way over here like that. And then let me double click this a couple times to add a reroute node here. Let me see, can I get to that one? Yeah, like that. Okay, so then that's going to create a array with our tagged actors in here, and then we can get the length of this and determine, you know, how many are left to go. So I'm going to create another keyboard press. Here we're going to go keyboard, and this is going to be keyboard 2. I'm going to get my tagged array that we just created, and we're going to drag off of here, and we're going to go length, and this will tell us how many cubes we have left in our scene. So I'm going to try to print this out in a sentence. So I'm going to go ahead and go append. And it's right down here on the bottom. And we're going to add a pin here. And I'm just going to type in here, there are space, this amount here of tagged cubes left in the game. Let me put a space in there. And then all we need to do is print this string. So I'll go print string here. And this just plugs in here like that. And then this plugs in like that. Once we've built this array, if we were to check this again, it's going to keep adding to the array, and I don't want to add any more to the array. So what we're going to do then is once we get those values or do what we want with the array over here, we could do more stuff with it. But all we wanted to do was find out how many are in it. But we could do more stuff with the array if we wanted. But if we don't want to do more stuff, and we just want this to be a check of how many cubes are left to go, then we just need to get clear out that array. So what I'm going to do here is get the reference to the array and just type in clear here. And this will just clear out the array. And then what I'm going to do is off of this pin here, I'm just going to drag this back and plug it into reset, right like that. So it resets it. So we essentially rebuild the array every time. Let me see if I can clear the screen. So this is the whole thing. So if you want to get a screenshot of that. So we press 1, it does it once. We get, this is a powerful node here because it goes and gets everything. It creates an array here actually. And then we go ahead and cycle through that array. Then we check for all the elements that have the tag that we're looking for. And if they have it, then we go ahead and build a new array called my tagged array. Once we have that array, then we press 2 and we can get the length, and then we know how many cubes are left to go. And then we clear out that array and reset it, and then we can start all over again if we want to reassess how many cubes we have. And that's all we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and compile that, save that, and then I'm going to drag this. Did I already drag it into the scene? I don't think I did I? So I'm going to go ahead and drag this into the scene, the tag finder. The last thing that we need to do is come here to the tag finder and search for this auto receive input and put that to player 0. And then if I hit play and come into the game, let's say these are all collectibles and I want to know how many left I need to get, how many more there are to get. And there's some that are decoys that aren't tagged. And I can press 1. You see over there in the left corner it printed out the string. And now if I hit 2, it says there are 6 of the tag cubes left to get. So I could actually leave that on the screen a little bit longer here. That's not on there very long. So let me leave that on there for like 10 seconds. And then what I'll do to show you that this works, let's compile and save that. We can go back into the scene now, and let's just untag one of these cubes here. Or let's say one of them got caught. So I get this cube here, and I just click off its tag here. So let me click this one off too, right? So now there's only 4 in the scene, right? So now if I come up here, I go into the game, and I've been collecting all my cubes, and I wonder how many more I have left to go. I hit 1, you'll see. I hit 2. There are 4 of the tag cubes left in the game. This is one way that you can use tags in your game to go through and get all of the elements that are tagged. And then you can do lots of different things with that once you've collect all that stuff. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.